Have you ever wondered where are the ways to make money in real estate? Stick with me because I'll be going through the different strategies you can use to make money in real estate. Hi, my name's Emmanuel, and this is If I Can, You Can, the channel where if I can do it, you can do it too. I go over home renovations and real estate investing. Now, if you like this content, please like, subscribe, and put the notification icon below. Leave me a comment. I always like to hear what you have to say. But now, let's go into the different types of real estate investing and different strategies you can use in your future. Number one is flipping. This is when you purchase a property, renovate it, and then sell it for a profit. Usually you will do that in a short time frame. Now your involvement in this is going to be very high. The longer this drags out, the more it's going to cost you. You got to keep on top of any contractors, permits, make sure everything's getting done. It's going to be very time intensive and labor intensive if you're getting into this. You're going to have to identify the properties, buy the properties, oversee the renovations, on the planning for that too, stage the properties, and you're going to have to oversee the sale to make sure everything's going all right. Now the pros on this is you can have a high yield if you do this correctly. And you can also have a quick turnaround time. If you're able to get into a property that only needs cosmetic updating and you get it in and out in 2 to 3 months and sell it for $30,000 profit after taxes, amazing. That's a lot of money real quick into this. Now the cons of this is gonna be highly risky. If you don't know what you're doing or you miss something major, like structural damage or anything crazy going on, it has a lien on it, you could be stuck waiting for those things to get cleared out or have to spend a significant amount of money repairing those before you can put somebody else into the property. And it's time sensitive too. You can't wait around 3 weeks to make a decision on a property. You need to be able to make them right away. That way you keep on moving and get it off your books. Number two is a BRRRR method. This stands for buy, renovate, rent, refinance, repeat. Simply put, it's a strategy where you buy a house, you fix it up, you find someone to rent it, you pull out the equity you have from making it nicer, and then you just take that money and dump it into another property. It's meant to build a portfolio using the same money that you started with and try to do it slowly but surely over time. The involvement can be moderate to high depending on how much you want to deal with managing the tenants that are inside the property or the type of way you identify the properties and how you renovate it. It's kind of like a flip, but you're going to hold it for a longer term, so you're not trying to get it off your books quickly. That gives you a little bit more time to figure out what to do with the property. The pros to this is it's going to build your portfolio. If you get 3 of these over 5 years, you're going to have cash flow coming off of all those and all the benefits of holding property on each one of these. And it's going to build your cash flow over time too, because each one of those properties is going to increase in rent and you're going to get all the good stuff that comes with it. The bad thing is it can be a complex process. You may have to pivot in strategies halfway through the process or maybe hit with high interest rates somewhere down the road. These are things that can come into play. That's one of the things that kind of head me up with one of my BRRRR strategies that I try to execute is I got in just as the interest rates were rising, and sure enough, I kind of got locked in and I wasn't able to execute the refinance of that step and buy another property. I'm locked into that a little bit right now. That's one of the cons you have to this. Also, market sensitivity. If the rental market drops out and you start dropping in rent, now you're gonna have a problem with getting the money back out to cover whatever the refinance may be or the initial mortgage. Then there's buy and hold. It's just a process of going in there, buying a property and holding it for as long as you can. It's a long-term game. An example of this may be going in and buying a property as your primary residence, and then down the road saving up enough money and buying another primary residence and renting out the last one. If you're able to do that, you can slowly build a portfolio. It'll generate long-term appreciation and cash flow with the tenants that are in there. This is going to be a little bit lower on the involvement, probably low to moderate, because you're not going in and trying to do renovations all at once and quickly put in a tenant. It's a lot less involvement on that, and just over time, it's gonna appreciate on you. But it will still involve management or you paying for someone to manage the property. Pros on this is gonna be steady income and then less turnover. Your money's gonna pretty much consistently come in as long as you don't do anything drastic and get good tenants in there. And you're not trying to move quickly like you would be with flipping, where you have to get in and out of a property right away. You have a lot longer time frame, so it's not as much pressure on you. The cons are, it's a long-term commitment. You're gonna be playing for the long haul. And it's gonna be management of the people that are inside the property too. If you wanna cut down on property management rates and you self-manage, yes, you'll save the money on it, but that's another thing you're gonna have to put on your plate and you're gonna have to do on a month-to-month basis. And the last one is short-term rentals. Some people will think about Airbnb, most popular one, or maybe like a VRBO, just short-term stays, like a vacation rental. This is renting out a property for less than a year on a very short-term basis. You can get a lot of money per day or per week doing this, more than you would normally if you're doing a long-term rental plan. That way you can maximize out the money that you can get into a single property. Your involvement in this though is going to be extremely high. I mean, you have people moving in there, moving out of there every couple of days, super high turnover. You're going to need to clean afterward, repair anything between tenants, still try to find new people to come in and rent the property. It is extremely high involvement when you do short-term rentals. I've done this before. It's going to take a lot of your time. And any management company that wants to do it for you is going to take a good chunk of your money trying to manage a property for you. Now, the pros on this is you're going to have a lot higher income on it because you can charge more for the daily rate, just like a hotel, than you can for a long-term rental where it has to be a year or more. And you're going to have flexibility. Guess what? This is a vacation rental. If you want to go up to the lake or the cabin or to the beach wherever you have this rental at and go for a personal day or bring your family, you're able to do that and block out that time for yourself. The cons though is it's very time consuming and you have a risk of regulation. If you're in a place and they all of a sudden decide they don't want short-term rentals anymore and they start banning them and you're not grandfathered in, or they make it very hard for you to rent out anymore, it could severely impact your model. And once you're stuck in that, trying to sell it for whatever you bought it for, because normally the short-term rentals, when they're sold as short-term rentals, have a kind of a premium on them. If you're no longer able to use it for that function, you're not going to be able to get that premium if you need to get out of it. You may be stuck into that. It's very risky. So summary over what we went over, it's going to be flipping, the BRRRR method, buy and hold, and it's going to be the short-term rentals. Always give good thought on what your strategy is, what time you have to put into whatever strategy you're using, and make sure it meets whatever goal you're trying to achieve. If you're looking at a long-term horizon, maybe it's a buy and hold strategy. If you're looking at replacing your job and doing this full time, hey, maybe it's short-term rental or flipping. But just make sure it meets whatever you want to do. But right now, that's all I have. If you like this content, want to hear more about anything, please leave it in the comments below. But that's all I have for right now. I'll see you in the next one.